Good day, my people. Right. I would like to welcome you once again to the next course of the Big Push Bootcamp organized by God Academy. My name is Godson, popularly known as Godsonic. Yes, and I'm the instructor for this course. Today we are going to learn a very, very amazing course, and trust me, it's going to be an amazing ride. So all I would say is make sure you pay close attention to whatever I would teach you and put it into good use, right? Because copywriting is a skill that makes you money, and you don't need any degree or serious qualification before you can start making money with copywriting. So what I'll teach you is a very amazing skill, and I would want you all to take it seriously. Right. Once again, welcome to the second course of the Big Push Bootcamp organized by God Academy. And all thanks goes to George Nana Edudaku for making this happen. Right. Good. I have a very interesting story to tell you today, right? And this story happened at a coffee shop, right? It's a conversation between Dan and Sarah. Now, Dan is a copywriter and Sarah is a business owner. Sarah wants to make money from content but doesn't know how. And this whole conversation started. So Dan asked Sarah, "So, how's the business going?" And Sarah pushed her laptop away. Sarah was like, "Well, I've posted every day for 3 months, good content, helpful tips, and I've got 2,000 followers now." And Dan asked, "That's great. Then sales must be about $340 total, right?" Good. Now, there was a big silence, a very, very big silence here. And Dan was like, "Oh, wow, why the silence? I mean, you've posted for 3 months every day with good content, helpful tips. You've got 2,000 followers. Yeah, so you should expect some revenue because you're a business owner creating content for your business, right?" And then because I was silenced, that was like, okay, well, let me ask a follow-up question. Maybe she didn't get me right. Right. And Dan was like, "Sarah, can I see what you are posting?" And then Sarah showed Dan her latest content, which was Happy Monday. Remember to stay focused on your goals today. What are you working on? Hashtag Monday motivation. And Dan leaned back. So that was like, that's nice, but what do you want people to do? What do you want your audience to do once they read your content? And then Sarah was confused. Sarah was like, "I, what do you mean?" Then Dan asked, "After reading that, what action should they take? What action should your audience take?" Then Sarah stared at the post again. She took a glance at the post she made. And then Sarah was like, "I guess feel motivated." Because, I mean, that was the purpose of the content for her audience to feel motivated that particular Monday. Right. And then Dan asked a very important question. Okay, does feeling motivated pay your bills? That's a very good question, right? And it's a question that Sarah should have asked herself before creating the content. But, well, maybe she doesn't have that mindset of making money from content. So let's see what happened. Now, she took her head, she shook her head slowly. And then Dan said, "That's content. It's great for building relationships, but you need copy to build a business." Good. So Sarah asked, "What's the difference?" And then Dan is the action guy, right? Dan pulled up an email on his phone and showed Sarah a content. And this is what the content says: "You are one client away from quitting your job. Here are 47 LinkedIn templates that land my clients $680,000. Download free." And the link was attached to the email. Now, this is also content, right? But this content drives action. You are grabbing the attention of your audience and you are making them click on a link to access 47 LinkedIn templates. So that's a copy, right? Okay, let's proceed. Now, Dan told Sarah that he sent this to 800 people last week and he made $11,000 in 2 days. Good. And Sarah's eyes went wide. Sarah was surprised. Sarah was astonished, right? And then Sarah said, "From an email, And Dan said 100%. The conversation ended. Now, this is the whole purpose of this training. We are converting content to revenue. How do we make money from content creation? How do we grab attention with content and then drive specific action, right? And how can we convert that action into generating revenue? That is the purpose of this training. So from copy, words designed to drive action, that's what we are here to learn. Interesting. Now, this is what to expect in this training. And this is what you're about to discover. Content gets attention, but copy gets action. That is the difference. Now, both matter, but only one that really makes you money. I use the word directly because there's a difference. You can actually make money from content creation. If you post on X, or let's say Twitter, formerly Twitter, right? Or even YouTube, and you generate a lot of impressions, you get, if your content really performs very well, X or LinkedIn, LinkedIn is not part. X or YouTube can pay you for that, right? But then consider a case where you just have about 200 followers. How can you directly make money from content without you following the likes game, or let's say impressions game, before you can make money? So that is what copywriting does for you, right? So in this course, you will learn how to write words that make people click, make people buy, make people remember you, or make people take specific actions. That is the purpose of copywriting. So now let's take note of this. You are not doing this because you are manipulative. You are doing this because you understand what they actually need and how to present it clearly. So if it's a business setting, how do you write content that your audience need? How do you write content that your clients wants to see? And how do you convert that attention into making revenue? That is what we are going to tackle as part of this training. Good. So this is copywriting, right? I've given you a very interesting story, and I've given you what to discover in this training, right? So now, what is copywriting? Here, we're not going to use any complex definition or something, right? We are looking for hands-on experience. So we are going to look at what matters. Now, copywriting basically means words that drive action, right? Writing content that drives specific actions, as simple as ABCD. The action could be buying a product, clicking a button, signing up for a list, booking a call, or even sharing with a friend. Now, someone will be like, booking a call. Booking a call is an action, right? Let me show you a trick that my startup does. So this is Volta AI, is a startup that I run, right? And you realize that this website, we implemented website copywriting, right? And at the end of the day, what we are trying to do is that we create content on the site that will make you perform an action, right? So we can convert the content for you to click on this button to book a free strategy call, or you can click on a strategy call here, right? Then you schedule an appointment with us. We are going to meet up with you. Then we discuss how we can transform your business. So this is another form of copywriting, right? Good. So that was just by the way. Let's move on to the next thing. Now, every word has a job. Every sentence moves the reader toward a decision. And that is what we are doing. Me, when I'm creating content, I don't look at impressions. I don't look at likes. I'm looking at how that content can drive action. It's either the content is getting me opportunities. It's either the content is getting people to view my profile. When you view my profile on LinkedIn, I have content that grabs attention from you being a visitor to you being a client. So I have this psychological triggers I use behind my content. And these are some of the things I'll be teaching you guys, right? So that is what copywriting means. Now let's look at the difference between a copy and a content. Now, content writing, the purpose of content writing is to either educate, entertain, or build relationships. And an example is 5 lessons from building my first business. 1, start before you are ready. 2, your network matters, blah, blah, blah. It's an example of content creation. You are using this to educate people. You can create content on X for entertainment, right? And all that. Now, So the success of usually content creating is likes, shares, comments, even time spent. And if you blow to a point, you can X or YouTube can pay you, right? Good. So that is content creation, right? Now let's look at copywriting. The purpose of copywriting is to drive immediate action. Now the tone is benefit focused, is direct and persuasive, right? Now, what are some of the success strategies we are supposed to look behind copywriting? One is either sales, that is you are making sales from the content, right? Either signups, either you generate revenue or you drive people to click on a link or something, right? Good. So the timeline is immediate results, but content creation is long-term trust building and long-term revenue generation as well, right? Good. So let's look at an example of copywriting. You are losing $3,000 per month with amateur proposals. Here is the template that closed $2 million in deals. Free download. So when you insert the link, people are going to click on the link to access the template. You get it? So in this case, if to me, this is what I'll do. As part of the link, right, I would add, let's say, your details. So before you get access to the template, right, I'll take your name and your email address before you get access to the template. So what happens is that if if you look at this content very well, you are losing $3,000 per month with amateur proposals. Here's the template that closed. So definitely this content is for business owners. So if I create a field for your name and email address, I'll definitely get, at the end of the day, I'll get emails of business owners. So next time, if I have a service to advertise, I can advertise it to those emails because I have the database of the emails, because they clicked on my link, they got access to the template, and I was able to get their email. So later on, I can get signups or I can get sales as well as revenue, and I was able to also make them what click on a link. So this is what makes it copywriting, as simple as ABCD, right? Yeah. So it's funny how people are using this trick to make a whole lot of money, and I make money from copywriting as well. I do ghostwriting. Good. So now let's look at where copywriting lives, right? And how it makes money. So now, one thing I'll tell you is that copy appears everywhere action is needed. So when you look at the digital landscape, Facebook, LinkedIn ads, Instagram, landing pages and sales pages. So landing pages, I showed you my AI company, right? Voter AI. So as soon as you jump on this site, you see a hook. This is a hook, right? And this is a rehook. So the hook says, return your manual business into an automated money machine. And the rehook says, boost productivity, or let's say, join 5,000 companies already using the AI to outperform competitors. Scale your business 10x faster with custom AI automation that never sleeps. You get it? Now, once I hook you with this short headline, then I make you click on a link. Sorry, I make you click on a button, which is request a service. So then you get it. So these are all forms of copywriting, and you need to be smart. You need to be experienced to be able to do this. You might feel like, oh, this is simple, but then you need to be very smart when it comes to copywriting before you can do something like this, right? Good. So I've been able to show you landing pages, how you can use copywriting on landing pages, right? And email subject lines and sequences. I would have showed you some emails, but then for the purpose of privacy, I wouldn't be able to do that, right? But then let me give you a trick. If you want to make people read your emails, let's say you have a newsletter, you want people to read your emails, your subject line should grab attention, because if a subject line doesn't grab attention, you can't hook your potential reader or your audience to read your content or to read your email. So these are all copywriting tricks you can implement when you are sending out emails, right? You can use it for product descriptions, you can use it to call to action buttons, and even video sales scripts, right? Now, in the traditional landscape, you can get copies. You can see copywriting in direct mail letters, print advertisements, brochures and catalogs, billboard copy, etc., etc. So these are some of the places you can see copywriting, right? Now, why is copywriting your highest return on investment skill? Why is copywriting your highest ROI skill? Now, it directly impacts revenue. See, When you do your marketing and all the marketing stuff you have around your business, it's going to bring you people. But then it is the copy that makes them pay you. Do you get it? Before you can make your marketing work, you need a very good copy. You need a very good sales copy that would convert your audience to paid clients. Do you get it? Now, you can do marketing, you can go to people, you can talk to them and all that. It will get you the people. But then when you're drafting your offer to them, right, and you use very good copywriting techniques, you'd be able to convert them just from being normal, let's say people you've spoken to paid clients. So same traffic, different words, different income. So let's look at an example. You have 10,000 website visitors. If the copy on your website is very bad and there's something that people are doing, their website just talk about the company. It talks about themselves. It doesn't talk about the value that they can make, the value that the audience or their visitors can get from them, because they don't understand copywriting. So that is a very bad copy, and bad copy can just give you like 2% conversion. And if I say conversion, means more like you're converting potential visitors to paid clients. So if let's say you take 2% conversion of 10,000 website visitors, then you have 200 customers, just 200 customers. But then if you have a very good copy and you have 8% conversion, that is around 800 customers. So this is 4 times more revenue from the same traffic, as simple as ABCD. So it is something that you have to understand when it comes to copywriting. Now, copywriting is also measurable. So unlike building your brand, so like building content and all that, right? One thing you can look at is, you see, let me give you a clear example of this website, right? So this is Volta AI, right? One thing we can do is we can test our headlines, right? We can test our hooks. So maybe in the first month, we can use this hook, we turn your manual business into an automated money machine. At the end of the month, we are going to look at the conversion rate. If let's say this hook gave us, let's say 10 paid clients, then we change the headline to another, we change the hook to another form, right? And it gives us, let's say 20 clients in another month. Then we would realize that that particular hook is performing better than this hook, right? So it makes your work, it makes your content measurable. So let's say headline A gave you 2.1% conversion, headline B gave you 8.7% conversion. The winner is very clear, right? Just scale the winner. So if 8.7% conversion is from headline B, then what do? You do more of it to get more conversion, and that gives you more clients, right? So that is what we mean by copywriting being measurable. And we also have it being scalable. So you can just write one email, one copy, then you send it to 10,000 people and generate $50,000 from it. So that same email can run for years. As simple as ABCD. Copy is an asset that compounds. With that same content you created on LinkedIn using copywriting, can make you about 1 million impressions and can be there for about 3 years and can still get you paid clients. This is so, I mean, amazing. And this is what we mean by it being scalable, right? Now, copywriting is also portable. You can use copywriting for your own product or services. You can act as a freelancer. Any industry that sells anything can use copywriting. Digital and even physical products use copywriting. So you can take this skill anywhere. That is the benefit of copywriting. And copywriting is a skill that you can, as I said, you can use in any business, right? Good. Now, the last thing is that it makes you understand people. Now, great copy requires you to understand, one, what people actually want or what they say. So let's say what people actually want versus what they say. Why people make decisions, what triggers action versus hesitation, how to overcome objections. So let me give you an example. Now, when let's say you are creating a copy to advertise your graphic design services to your customers, right? You design a flyer and you are just talking about yourself. that you are good at designing. Nobody cares about that. Trust me. Now, what your people actually want is they want to see the value of your designs. If you design for them, is that design going to generate sales? Is it going to get them clients? That is what they are looking for. Let me show you something on my LinkedIn feed. Right. I'm going to show you something on my profile. Right. So let's look at something on my profile. So look at my banner, right? On my banner, you can see helping businesses scale with AI automation. So the value is to save time, you cut costs, you scale revenue on autopilot. Then I make you what? I give you a call to action, request a service. This is pure form of content, right? Pure form of copywriting. And how is this working? Now, as soon as you look at my banner, I'm directly communicating with you that I can help your business scale with AI automation. So if you are a business looking for my service, then what do? You look at the button, you look at the link, then you just go to voter.ai, then you request what? A service, right? That is what I'm doing. Now, you can see, I don't want to compare my LinkedIn profile to anybody's LinkedIn account. No, I don't want to do that. But then you can attest to the fact that other people, you see their LinkedIn headline and it's just talking about themselves or just talking about their skill. How can your audience, how can they get value from your skill? That is what we are looking at. As simple as ABCD, right? Good. Now, let's look at something. So I've showed you what people actually want, right? And at the end of the day, right, if your content is able to convert, let's say visitors into paid clients, you'd be able to know why people make decisions, because from your content you can analyze and be like, okay, well, when I place these values, when I used save time, cut costs, scale revenue on autopilot, it would be that, well, if these businesses are making decisions, they are looking at how they can save time, they are looking at how they can cut costs, and they are looking at how they can scale revenue. So from your content, you would know that you would be able to analyze and know that these are some of the reasons why businesses make decisions, right? Good. And a whole lot. So when we dive into the raw copywriting, you would be able to understand all these things, right? Good. So copywriting makes you better at sales, negotiation, leadership, and relationships. And see, I've been using my content copywriting strategy skills to, build my relationships, right? Not romantic relationships per se, but then, well, you can use that. It all depends on you, right? I can write a content down. Let me not bring that. Let me not check that in here. If this course is going so amazing, you can drop a comment in the comment section that you are enjoying this, right? Good. So we've been able to know where copywriting lives and how you can make money from it, right? Now, I want to create a paradigm shift, and I'm about to do it now. The copywriting mindset shift. Good. Now, before this course, I know most of you you would say this to yourself: I need to tell people about my features and hope they buy. But then after this course, this is how you think. You think in this form: I need to understand their problem, agitate the consequences, and present my solution as the clear path forward. You get it? Now, before this course, I know this is how you may be thinking: how do I make my product sound good? After the course, you would know what transformation does to your customers. So what transformation does my customers want, and how do I prove I can deliver it? Also, before this course, you might be saying to yourself, I hope people will like this. But then after this course, you would say, this will make people take action because it speaks to their specific pain and offers a specific solution. So this is what we are going to do as part of the copywriting course. This is just an introduction. What is coming is so amazing that you can't resist. And see, what I just said is a form of copywriting. I'm saying this to grab your attention so that the next day, that is tomorrow's course, you will join. This is how interesting copywriting is, right? And if you really understand the psychology behind copywriting, you'd really, really be able to make a whole lot. Right? Good. So, guys, this brings us to the end of today's lesson on introduction to copywriting. I hope to see you in the next session of this course, where we are going to dive deeper into copywriting, learn the frameworks, how we can apply it, how we can make good use of it, and at the end of the day, how we can make revenue from it. Once again, my name is Godson, and I'm a tech-driven leader as well as a skill development coach, right? And I'm happy to be the instructor for this big push bootcamp. I hope to see you in the next lesson. Always remember to stay blessed. Make sure you understand the course. You can watch it more than 10 times to get a better understanding of it, right? I hope to see you again. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.